Well, howdy everyone. My name is Tom Turbyville, and I live in College Station, Texas, home of the Aggies, Gig-'em. And I'm producing this YouTube video to help folks out there who were like me back in 2019 and had this crazy idea that in retirement that I could create my own online broadcasting outfit. And I learned how to do it. I learned what I needed. And in the spring of 2019, I started what I call bcsball.com. BCS stands for Bryan College Station, where I live, and bcsball.com. And it's been on the air since the spring of 2019. My idea was, and what I actually ended up doing and still do today, is to broadcast high school sports, team sports, that were not being broadcast by regular terrestrial radio stations. And the only sports that did that on our local radio station, which is a station I worked for 20 years, by the way, before I retired, was varsity high school football. So I don't do any varsity high school football. Also, I am audio only. I don't do any video, no cameras. Too old to get into that. I've been successful enough selling sponsorships for just audio only. So I am audio only. If you want video, a lot of the equipment that I'm going to show you is the same, but except I don't do any video. So I don't even know where to plug in video or anything like that. Plus, one reason I don't do video is sometimes with the regulations here in Texas with the University Interscholastic League, they are real picky on who does video at high school sports. The school district has to approve you to do video. You have to be their official broadcaster for video. And also when it comes time to the playoffs, it costs a lot of money because they charge big rights fees for doing video. If you're audio only, it's pretty much a free market out there. The schools love me for what I do. I can go into any place. I don't need to, doesn't cost anything for rights fees until you get to the state championship in sports, like the Final Four. Then they charge some rights fees. So, but as far as the first, second, third round, regional finals, things like that, they don't charge for audio only. So that's a good thing. So that's why I do audio only. What I do, we have 4 high schools in Bryan College Station. In Bryan, it's Bryan High School and Rudder High School. In College Station, it's A&M Consolidated High School and College Station High School. And I broadcast for all 4 of those schools. And the sports I broadcast in the fall, start off with the fall, after the summer break, I broadcast volleyball, and I broadcast a few sub-varsity football games, mainly JV football games. Then the winter comes, like it is right now. It's November. Basketball has just started, and I broadcast both boys and girls varsity basketball. And then in the spring, I broadcast varsity softball and baseball. And that's what I do. I do those sports, those 6 sports. I don't do soccer for one main reason. One is I can't find anybody locally that knows how to call soccer. I don't. I'm sorry. Nothing against the sport. I like the sport. My son is a fanatic for soccer, but I don't know enough about the game for me to be able to call it, and I can't find anybody. The only person I had that was a good soccer caller a few years ago, he also called for A&M soccer team, and he just got too busy and couldn't work for me anymore. So if I found somebody that could call soccer, I would be calling soccer also. But anyway, that's what I do with those 6 sports. And what I'm gonna be stopping and starting this video here as we go to sort of prepare this. But as a matter of fact, I'm gonna stop it right now and get on with it. As far as all the equipment that you'll need to do what I do. And I'll give you an idea of what it might cost. There's 2 different costs. There's one cost if you already have your own laptop. If you already have your own laptop and you want to use it, then obviously you don't have to buy another one. If you either don't have a laptop or don't want to use your personal laptop to do this, then you'd have to purchase a laptop that you would dedicate to your sports broadcasting or whatever kind of broadcasting you're doing. So whatever costs I tell you, it's either it's not going to include a laptop. You either have your own or you got to buy a new one. I will tell you about my laptop. You don't have to spend bukus of money on a laptop, believe me. So I'm going to stop this and then I'll be right back. Okay, here I am, same setting. When I go to any contest, I decide where I'm going to set up. I set up different places for different sports. In volleyball, matter of fact, I'm doing a game tonight, a playoff game in volleyball tonight. I normally set up in the bleachers, in the stands, because I've got a better view of everything. I don't set up on the floor. I used to set up on the floor in the corner, but to tell you the truth, I could not see down to the other end of the court well enough with these old eyes. And when they warm up in volleyball, you got volleyballs coming everywhere on the floor from their warm-ups, right? They're practicing their serves and everything. And so volleyballs were hitting my laptop and my equipment and everything, so it got to be a real hassle. So I quit working from the floor. And the officials don't really like you on the floor. And so I work up in the stands. So how do I set up in the bleachers? Well, right here, this table. It's a great little table. They're at Walmart. I have 3 of these. I have 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one. This is one of the smaller ones. This table, I just tote around with me like that. And the reason it's great is because it opens up like that, and the legs, okay? The legs work all 4 independently of each other. So if I'm in the bleachers, I can take these front legs right here and extend them. You can extend them to 2 positions, okay? That's the shorter position, or they even go longer, okay? Got that? I'll put it back down to the smaller, okay? And you can, depending on what your bleachers are like, whether they're really deep bleachers or shallower bleachers, you can sit up in the top row of the bleachers and put your table down in the bleachers, and it'll, the front legs will go down and the back legs will be right there in front of you. So you get what I mean. And all 4 legs are independent of each other. If you want to if you do set up on the floor or just on a flat surface, you can put them all up to make a taller table, or in the middle to make a medium height table, or short to make a shorter table. So what I'm going to do for this demonstration is, I think I'm going to do the medium table here. So I'm bringing all 4 legs, the medium height table, and here we go. Very good, that works. So there are some bleachers that are really wide that you can actually, lay your table flat like that. But this works great for me. Again, this is the smaller table. There's one that's like 6 inches larger that I also have. So I have 3 of these, and they're not expensive. I told you I'd tell you how much they cost, but I actually forgot. I think, I don't even want to tell you, but they're at Walmart, at least at our Walmart, both the large and the small ones. So there you go. Okay, so the first thing I do when I get to my venue is that I put my table up, okay? And then I have down here, I'm not going to show you, it's a little roller suitcase, you know, like you take on board an airplane and put up in the top, one of those small suitcases. So I'm able to put all my equipment inside that suitcase, all right? And so it's just right down here. And I'm going to bring my equipment out of my suitcase so you can see what I have, okay? First, my laptop, all right? And I'll put it like over here. I have, of course, a power cord with my laptop. I'm not going to use it today because my laptop is pretty charged, I believe. It's pretty charged up, so I'm not going to plug it in today because I think my laptop's good to go. Then, I also have, these are all my written notes and everything. This is my rosters and, you know, all the things to get ready for the broadcast, all the things that I've printed off. So, not going to go into that. You do that the way you do it, okay? I have headsets. Tell you what, as I bring these things out, I'm not going to go into where I got them, how much they cost. I'll do that at the end, okay? So if you want to write this stuff down, I'll do that at the end, talk about where you can procure all this equipment. But I got a headset, and I actually have 4 of these. Well, here's something I didn't tell you. Why do I have so many tables and 4 headsets? Because I actually have 3 different streaming services. I have a BCS Ball, a BCS Ball 2, and a BCS Ball 3, which means that I can broadcast 3 events at the same time. I have people who work for me who also broadcast, and one of those people has a suitcase just like mine with the same equipment and one of the headsets, and he broadcasts on BCS Ball 2, and then I have another suitcase with another headset and the same equipment, and they broadcast on BCS Ball 3. So I can, and do quite often, especially during baseball and softball season, in broadcasting 3 events at the same time. It's all on BCS Ball, but it's 3 different streaming services, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so there's the headset. I'm going to put that off to the side for right now. Now, other things that you probably have. Binoculars. Great, always binoculars. Okay, a power strip. Need a power strip. Absolutely vital. You have a power strip. I'm not going to use the power strip today because I'm here in my home. I don't have to run a long extension cord to the nearest power outlet like I would in a gymnasium. But if you get someplace and you've forgotten your power strip, you're in deep water. So don't forget a power strip. Okay? Also, I talked about an extension cord. Here is one of my extension cords. This is my, 25 footer, I think. Okay. I have lots of extension cords. I have a couple of these 25 footers. I think I have a 50 footer because you don't know where a football game or a gymnasium you're going to be and how far away the nearest power cord is going to be. So I take this power cord that's in my suitcase, and I usually throw another long power cord, a 50 footer, in my truck just in case I need it. But you need power cords, okay? All right, now a mixer. The mixer I have is a Behringer Xenex, is that how you pronounce it? It's a Behringer Q802. But now I have 4 mixers. I have another mixer that's a little bit higher end, and it's still a Behringer. Okay. There's my mixer that I use because it's small, doesn't take up much space on the table. It's only 2 inputs for microphones, or I use a microphone, and if I'm broadcasting by myself, which I normally do, the other one I put my crowd mic in, okay? All right? And I'll show you here in a little bit about what plugs in here and how it plugs in. But this is my mixer. Mixers, well, I'm sorry, I told you I was going to tell you later about where I get all of this stuff, and I will, and about how much they cost. So this is just a basic 2-input mixer, okay? And it's also a USB mixer. I highly recommend you get a USB mixer because of the plugins are so easy. If you don't have a USB, you can still do what you want to do, but it's a little different. So I always get a USB mixer. Make sure it says USB and it has that USB input on the back. It's not your normal USB that's like wide, you know. This is a square, but it's still called a USB, all right? So, mixer, there you go. And I put that right by my laptop. Okay, have a power cord for the mixer. And I am going to plug that in because the mixer doesn't charge. It needs to be plugged in. So bear with me here just a second. Oh, there we go. And I am going to, there's my power for the mixer. And drop that on the floor. And excuse me 1 second, I gotta walk a foot over there to plug this in. Excuse me. Be right back. All right, I'm coming back. There. Okay, I'm back. Plugged in my mixer. My mixer's on. I don't know if you can see the lights on there. That's everything. All right, now I have also, if I'm going to use a crowd mic, which I do sometimes, if I'm in the bleachers and there's a bunch of crowd around me, I might not mess with the crowd mic. The crowd noise will just come through my headsets sufficiently enough. But at football games, like if I'm in a press box or if I'm far away from the crowd, so anyway, there's my mic cord. A lot of mic cord for, so let's say that we are using a crowd mic here. And I'm going to plug that into the second input there. And need a microphone. I have a microphone here. I have a handheld mic that I procured from the radio station I used to work at. It was an old one they didn't use anymore, and they happily gave it to me, and I appreciate that. When you work someplace for 20 years, they tend to remember you. So there's the crowd mic, and I'll put that, and if it's a football game, I'll just put it, you know, down on the bleacher or, you know, somewhere just to pick up crowd noise, all right? So I don't try to put it on my table because it just takes up more space. So I'll put it, let's say I'm putting it down on the bleacher and just pointing it towards the crowd, okay? And that's the crowd mic. If I'm getting too deep into the weeds here, you know everything that I'm saying, feel free to fast forward if you want to. But I'm going to be as thorough as possible on this one. I'm going to assume that you all are brand new to this and don't know anything about what you need to do. All right, now with this setup comes some additional cords, a couple of them to be exact. And hold on, I'm getting them out of my little suitcase here. There are two different cords. There's one, I'm going to show them to you here. And where's the other one? Hello. There we go. All right. One in its right place. Okay. Okay, here's my cord. Now, these cords you usually have to order online, Amazon or whatever. This is a cord that's a USB, the square USB, and it goes to your typical USB. Can you see these? This one is the square USB input, and this is your typical, small rectangular input. All right? I'm going to stop here and tell you one thing that's very important, because I'm going to talk to you about streaming services here in a little bit and how you get on the air. And I think this is pretty much a universal deal here. Do not turn on your laptop. Don't open anything in your laptop, okay? Matter of fact, I recommend you don't even open. You keep it like that, all right, until you've connected these two cords. Because when you wake up your laptop, it's got to recognize immediately, hey, I'm connected to something out there. You never want to open your laptop and click on your streaming service before you've connected these cords, all right? This first cord, which is the square USB, goes into the back of the mixer. If I'm putting it in right, there we go, okay. All right, and the other end, your standard USB, goes into one of your USB outlets on your laptop. Any one, regardless of how many you have. This particular laptop actually only has one regular USB cord. It has an HDMI input, which we won't use. And it has a headphone jack. And you do need a laptop that has a headphone jack. So, all right? Because the second cord goes from on your laptop to your little headphone jack. This is just a little mini plug, okay, into the little hole where you would put headphones or earbuds or whatever, goes in there, all right? And then the other end goes into one of the, on your mixer, goes into your line in, any line in that you want to use other than number 1 or number 2, all right? Because one, you don't want to put it on the same one with your headsets or your crowd mic. So I'm going to put it where it says line in 3 and 4. I could put it in 5, 6 also, but this says line in 3, 4. I'm going to put it in the top one, which is for mono, goes there. Now, what are these cords for? The second cord I put in, the one I just put in, this is so that my commercials that I play, that are on my laptop, that when I fire off a commercial, it will go into the mixer, and I can control the audio level, the volume level on my mixer. I can control everything that's coming out of my laptop on my mixer and how it sounds in my headset. So I can hear the commercial in my headset and everything. So it's for anything that plays from my computer. And that essentially, for what I do, is my commercials, my open, my close, and my commercial spots. So when I fire off a commercial, the sound goes from the laptop to the mixer, and from the mixer out to my headset. So that's what that second cord was for. The first cord is simply so that when I talk, that it goes, my voice goes to my laptop, because they've got to communicate with each other. From the laptop to the mixer, that's the commercials. From the mixer to the laptop, that's my voice talking, because I'm talking into let me go ahead and connect my headset here to my input 1, all right? This is kind of funky, by the way. Everybody wants to put the headphone jack of your headsets into the input right below, but it doesn't go there. It goes way over here where it says phones. So that's a little funky. But most mixers are like that. Don't put this where it says mic. Put it where it says phones. That's your headset thing. Okay, there you go. So now I have my headsets in. All right. So that's what that second cord is for. So that my voice here is going to the laptop, so that my streaming service, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, will be able to pick up not only my voice but my commercials, everything, because there's no reason to be doing anything unless your streaming service is picking up what you're broadcasting, right? So it'll go out to the world. So that is the setup. That's all that I have to do. If you want to record what you're doing, there's a main out, there's a control room out that you can put a 1/4 inch to a mini plug and stick the mini plug into your recorder if you have a recorder or whatever. So you can do that also, but I'm not going to get into that on this video. So let me look over here, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh yes, I have. I've forgotten a very key element. All right, where did I put it? Hello. Okay. Ah, there it is. Okay, sorry. All right. Very key element. And we might as well go ahead and talk about that now, but I'm going to stop and retrain my thoughts here a little bit. But matter of fact, I'm going to take my camera here on my iPad, and I'm going to give you a closer look at what we got here, okay? Okay, here, hold on a second. Now, I am going to, this little item that I almost forgot. So you're at a remote facility, you're at a gymnasium, you're at a football stadium, and you want to know how to get on the internet, okay? Bear with me here, because I'm going to just tell you my experience, all right? You're saying, okay, Tom, why can't I just use my cell phone as a hotspot? Well, you can, but it's not, I have found that it is not as reliable in a lot of cases, especially in gymnasiums that are built out of cinder block. They're not as reliable as a real hotspot, okay? A dedicated hotspot. So I have 3 of these, one for me and one each for my 2 co-workers. I use Verizon. No reason, I always been a Verizon customer. Me and my wife's 2 cell phones, her watch, her fancy watch, this iPad that I'm broadcasting on, and both of our phones, and all 3 of my hotspots are all on Verizon, one Verizon account. I got a bundle deal, and I think I got a pretty good deal. I asked AT&T if they could match it or better it, and they couldn't even come close. So that's why I use Verizon. I'll talk about these and where you can get them, and how you pay for it and all of that here later on. But this is my Verizon hotspot, and it comes with the hotspot itself, that's here, and a power cord and a plug-in. All right, I'm not going to plug this in because this does charge, and I'm pretty sure that it is charged from when I used it last. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm not going to go into how you turn it on. There's a button here, and it says, well, here I am going into it, and it says welcome and it sort of cycles through all of its regurgitation here and says hello, hi, hello, how are you? And then it has a Verizon logo, and then it does a little bit of this. So anyway, after about 60 seconds, it's ready to go, and your laptop will find it when you look for internet connections. Okay, so that's what I use, a Verizon hotspot, and I'll talk more about how you get one of those later. But I'm just going to put it off to the side here because I have it turned on. All right. Now, I am going to open my laptop. Notice I have all my cords already attached, okay? And I'm going to open my laptop. Oh, by the way, what do I do with it? I don't know whether you use the pad on your laptop, or it's over here, just a second. Or if you're a mouse guy. I'm a mouse guy. Always been a mouse guy. I cannot use the little pad on my laptop. I'm just not good at that. So I use a mouse. So I've opened my laptop. It woke up. It's not on the internet. I don't need to show you all this. You all know how to do it. I'm going to put in my password to open my laptop. Okay. I'm going to close the window that I had already open. Okay, now I'm going down to the little globe to find a internet ID, and there it is. It says Verizon RC400L. That's the name of this little baby right there. Okay, and I'm going to click on it. Now, if it's the first time you're doing it, it'll ask you for a password. You can find the password on the screen here, and I have made a little label on the back with my password on it. So, but once your computer and your hotspot are married to one another, a couple of times, your computer will remember it. You won't have to put in your password. That's how it is for me. So I'm going to click connect, and it's connecting. I hope. It connected. Take my word for it. So now I'm connected to my hotspot on my computer. All right. Now, I am ready. I've done everything I need to do to broadcast. But I'm not online yet. I'm not on the air yet. And that's when we get to a whole new section of how I get on the air and my streaming services and all of that. So I'm going to pause for a second, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you about that. All right, welcome back. So that's the equipment. Those are the three things that you need: headset, mixer, laptop, and the accompanying cords. Mic cable, regular XLR to XLR, mic cable, hand mic if you want to do crowd noise. And so that's, and hotspot. Let me go back. I was talking about the hotspot and how I really recommend that you not use your phone as a hotspot, just because it's not as reliable as this. However, if you want to use your phone as a hotspot, I recommend that you only do it for outside broadcasts. Baseball, softball, football, soccer, whatever. If you're outdoors, I don't recommend that you use your phone as a hotspot for inside gymnasiums or really inside any building. Not saying it won't work, but it might skip on you. It might drop. Okay, so Also, things are coming to my mind. Use your own connectivity. Do not ask the venue, the school, whatever, hey, can I get your password and hop on to your all's internet as a guest? Those guest internet connections, those are shared by everybody, and they're not dedicated, and you'll run into trouble if you do that. You may get online, just like I'm online right now, but it won't be dependable for a 2-hour broadcast or something like that. More times than not, it'll drop on you or skip on you, and you won't be happy about it. So I'm not going to say I've never done it. I've had 1 or 2 times that for some reason my hotspot failed on me. When I say 1 or 2 times, I'm talking about in 5 years and, over 500 broadcasts. But don't use the school unless you happen to be in a press box where they have not Wi-Fi, but an actual hard connection. If they have that and you can connect the whatchamacallit, the thing that looks like a phone, my mind just went, Ethernet, there you go, Ethernet. If they have the Ethernet connection to the wall and you have an Ethernet input on your laptop, you can do that. I enjoy that, that's fine. But if it's Wi-Fi, bring your own, okay? Got that. Now, let's talk about Wi-Fi and let's talk about streaming services, excuse me. You can't do what you want to do unless you can stream out there on the internet, right? Right. So what do you use? Well, there's a lot of options out there. I know that there are. YouTube. There's a lot of them. To be honest with you, I can't name the names of all of the ones that you can get your streaming services. I know some of them are free. Some of them cost a lot of money. Some of them cost not so much money. And all I know is that, well, I'll tell you a little story. And you can fast forward through this if you want. When I first started out, I went with a company that was actually based in England. And they were dependable. They were very good. Lots of bells and whistles. And I went with that company. And they charged me by the month. And they were real dependable until one summer, they were down for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks they were down. Something happened. Well, I was fortunate because I don't broadcast during the summer. So I didn't lose any money. I wasn't broadcasting anything. But there's a lot of people, a lot of their customers were really having problems. I mean, really cost them money, sponsorship money, because they did broadcast during the summer. And they couldn't broadcast for 3 weeks because their streaming service was down. Well, it may have been the only time that it happened, but that went me looking for another streaming service. And I have been so lucky. I'm going to tell you, write this down. If you don't have a pen or a paper, I'll say it again here in a second. This is the streaming company that I go through. It's Network One Sports. And it's Network, the number 1, Sports. Google it. Bring them up. Find out about it. It's, they're American made, American owned. The fella who runs it, his name is Greg Hitchcock. He lives in the Mountain Time Zone. I think he's in Salt Lake City. He moved, but I think he's still in Salt Lake City. And Greg is, without a doubt, the absolute best as far as client service that I have ever dealt with in any capacity. If you're having a problem, you call him. If he's available, he'll answer the phone. If he's not available, you leave a message and he will call you right back. He may be on the phone with somebody else. When I first started with him, I was calling him every so often when I would have a hiccup. But 99% of the time, the hiccup was on my end. I was doing something wrong. It wasn't on his end. 99.9% of the time. And he would be very nice. He wouldn't say, "Hey, Tom, you dummy, you forgot to do this." He could have. I was saying that to myself, but he could have said that. He's very patient. He walks you through everything on how to set up your streaming service. And he's always available. So, matter of fact, I'm going to give you his contact information here. And matter of fact, if you have your pen, I'm going to give you his email right now. Okay? Sorry, had to pause there because I was having trouble finding Greg's email. His email is GGH, like Greg Hitchcock, GGH at network1sports.com. And the one is the number one, not ONE, the number one, okay? That's his email address. So email him, find out what he has to offer. But I highly recommend him, and I don't know of any place else to suggest because he's the only one that I use, okay? And he will totally walk you through it as far as how to set up the streaming service, which has a name. It's called Edcast. That's what he uses, and he'll show you how to set it up on your computer, create a shortcut on your computer screen where you can just click on it when you're ready to broadcast and go on the... I'm not going to get into the weeds on that because he'll do all that for you. But when you're finished with him, you're going to have on your computer screen a shortcut icon that says Edcast or however you want to rename it. And it will, you double click it and you will be on the internet. You'll be on the World Wide Web. You'll be broadcasting. You know, when you turn all this stuff on and start talking, you'll be broadcasting, okay? Okay. Now, so that's what I recommend as far as getting your streaming service. But go with whatever is right for you. I also have on my screen, and again, this will just be a recommendation to you, but if you are going to play things from your site to go out on your broadcast, like commercials, like an open and a close, like liners, whatever you want that you're not going to say live, that like if you want to record your players introducing themselves each game, whatever. If you want to put anything out there that's coming from your computer, you need a player on your computer, whatever your favorite player is, that you need to upload those commercials to, however you do that, and play them off of your player. There are hundreds of different players out there, and they each have different bells and whistles on them to where you can just like fire off stuff by hitting the space bar. That's what I do. There's lots of good ones out there. Some of them cost money, some of them don't. I use one that's free. And it's free because it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles to it. Doesn't have a lot of colors and things like that. It's not for somebody who's going to be a disc jockey online and has to, play records and liners in between records and all of that kind of stuff. It's just if you're like just firing off commercials or whatever. And it's called Music Bee. Music Bee. The icon is a little cartoon bee. And that's what I use, is Music Bee. And I'm not going to get into how you set it up and all of that. I'm going to assume you're smart enough, if you want to use Music Bee, to load in your audio commercials or opens or close or whatever, you can go to Music Bee. I'll be glad to help you if you want to contact me. But that's what I use for my commercials and my game opens and game closes and anything that I'm not saying live over the headset. I use Music Bee. And it plays straight from my laptop to my mixer out to the World Wide Web. So Music Bee and Network One Sports, that's what I use. So let's assume now that you have done all of that, you've got all this equipment, you have this all laid out, you've contacted Greg or whoever your favorite streaming service is, and you've gotten Music Bee or whatever your favorite player is, and you are at the site and you are ready to broadcast, okay? Hold on a second, I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to show you my screen, okay? All right, here is my screen. And forget all this stuff, this is just my personal stuff and everything, okay? I do use Audacity to edit audio, okay? That's free and it works for me. Sorry about that's my light shining, but that's okay. I only use for broadcast two things, and that's the Edcast, that's Network One Sports, and the Music Bee. That's right there. Here, let me get these out of the bright light here so you can see them, okay? There we go. All right. I use that and that for my broadcast. That's the only thing that I use. Now, I'm going to click on my Edcast for you. Double click on it. Okay? And this comes up. Now, this again is Edcast. This is where I told you I'm not going to really get into the weeds here. But if you do use Network One Sports, when you click on Edcast, this little box will come up. And to make sure that you are broadcasting, what you need to see is where it says transfer rate. If there are those kilobytes per second, if there's two numbers there, both there and there, where it says MP3 and Vortex, then you are in shape. You are on. I'm not going to talk about any of this stuff. I'm going to turn my mic up so you can see. What I just did was I just turned this. This is where my headset is on number one here. Okay, there's the headset. And as you can see, it's just picking it up from across the room. Here, hold on a second. All right, now, I've got my headset on my head now, and I'm talking into the mic so you can see it's a good level. And I am actually going out into the internet right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pretend like I'm a customer, and I'm going to go on. I'm going to let you hear it. I'm going to go to my website, which is bcsball.com. I'm doing this on my phone, by the way. I'm sorry, on my iPhone. Okay, you see, I'm doing this. This is on my iPhone. I'm going to bcsball.com, and this is if I were a listener. Okay, I was grandma or grandpa. I'm going to bcsball.com. That's what my website looks like, bcsball.com. Okay, and I'm going to where I already have my game for tonight, my volleyball game that I'm going to broadcast tonight. I already have it up there on, excuse me, trying to, knew that was going to happen, sorry. Okay, I already have it, there we go. That's the game I'm going to be doing tonight, okay? And so the the listener, all they got to do is click on that on their phone, and it goes to the Network One Sports deal there. And if we were about to broadcast, they would just hit that listen now, where it says, or listen link, listen live. That's what it says, listen live. So I'm going to go and click on that because I'm actually broadcasting right now on that. There's nobody listening because they don't know to listen right now. So I'm going to, there we go. And I'm going to turn up the volume on that. There's nobody listening because there you go. They don't know to listen right now. So I'm going to hear that. There we go. And I'm going to turn up the volume. There's nobody listening because there you go. They don't know to listen right now. So we're getting the feedback of is what it is. But what you're hearing now is me online on Network One Sports. There you go. And there's a delay. We're getting the about 12 seconds. Is what it is. Matter of fact, let's see what the delay is just about here. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, bang. 1, 2. There's a delay. 3, about 12 4, seconds. 5. Matter of fact, let's see 6, what the 7, delay is just about 8, here. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, bang. 11. Okay, that was 11 seconds. So there's about 11-second delay. 5. Let's see. 6, 7, 8. You're listening. 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that was 11 seconds. So there's about your brain isn't about to explode. I'm going to log off as the listener. You're listening. There we go. And I just logged off. So it really works. You're on the World Wide Web. But again, I'm not going to get into how this works for me. I will go ahead and open. I don't know why this box just opened. That was just something that opened up on me. But what I do is when I'm broadcasting, I'll take this Edcast box and I'll put it over here on my screen. And then my Music Bee, I'll open that up for you just to show you what it looks like. There we go. And I'll take that and I'll put it over here. All right. And I'll keep it just that way. So I have both my Edcast box, so I always know. I'm always, during a broadcast, I'm always checking these transfer rates to make sure that they haven't gone away. Because if they go away, you're not broadcasting. You've dropped. And it happens from time to time. For whatever reason, a little gremlin will get in there, whatever, and all you do is just relaunch Edcast again and tell your listeners, hey, sorry about that technical difficulty. Yada, yada, yada. You know, you just have fun with it. That kind of thing happens. And what these are, this is what I have. Like I said, it's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's just like, those are my recorded stuff. There's my open for my volleyball game. With this, I can just get on it and just hit the space bar. And I don't know if you can hear this or not. It's time for high school volleyball on bcsball.com. High school volleyball is proudly brought to you by these fine sponsors. TNT Security. So, Twin City Property. There you go. Wings and more. Now, and then I have all of my, that's like my open to volleyball tonight. And then over here I have all my commercials, like Benford Insect Control, and I can just punch it off by hitting the space bar. And there's my dentist sponsor. So, all right, we're back. And now I'm going to talk to you about how to procure these items, the essential items, the laptop, the mixer, the headsets, the hotspot. These are the pricier items. Well, not the hotspot. I'll start off with that. You can get this hotspot just talking about the actual device. Okay. I know they sell them. I believe they sell them at Best Buy, And I even saw that you can order them online from Walmart for $20. So the actual device itself is not expensive. And then, without getting into the weeds again, as it were, as far as how you activate it, you activate it with if you're a Verizon customer already with your own cell phone, you talk to them about adding this device. It's just like adding another cell phone or a watch or anything. This is just another device that picks up Wi-Fi. And like I said, we've got 7 devices between my wife and I. And so we have a package with 7 devices. And I have, I don't mind telling you what it cost me for what I have with 7 devices with unlimited Wi-Fi for all the devices. I pay a little over $200 a month, and that's for everything, for our cell phones, her watch, and like I say, 2 cell phones, a watch, and 3 hotspots, and what else am I missing? Well, I've got 7 devices in all. Okay, so you make your own deal with Verizon, but this is their product. It's called an Orbic. Trying to get it in focus there for you. Okay. I just looked up on Amazon the headset. The one I just saw on Amazon. It hadn't gone up that much in price. I got it for $199 several years ago. This headset, which works just fine. It's the least expensive one, really, pretty much on the market. And like I told you, it is a Audio-Technica headset. So if you look that up on Amazon, I saw it for $219. So it's gone up about $20 since I bought mine. And but you need that if you're going to buy a headset. $219 right now on Amazon. The mixer, the Behringer mixer with 2 inputs, just like I have. This mixer with the USB in the back. I recommend that. Costs a little more to have the USB in the back. Remember what I'm saying about the USB in the back? It's this. I want to drop it here while I'm trying to show it to you. It's this that USB input right there. Yeah. Okay. On Amazon, I saw that for $109 for the 2 input. Now, if you get a 4 input, it's a little more expensive. But I recommend you go to a Guitar Center, if you have one of those, and see if they have, if yours has USB mixer, and it might be a little bit lower than that. They might have something on sale, but you need that. And then, of course, the laptop, we talked about that. If you want to use your own personal laptop for broadcasting, that's fine. That'll work. The laptop should have, again, by review, it should have a regular USB port on the side and a audio jack. As you can see, from left to right, that's my power input, regular USB, an HDMI, something else, I don't know what that is, and a audio jack, okay? So it should have all of that. This Lenovo, online, I saw it for $300 for this Lenovo, and that's not bad. So, but you do your own shopping, and then there's that. Okay. I'll be right back. We're going to talk about the business end of this, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, I'm back, and I'm in different clothes because I've actually gone and I've broadcasted my volleyball game already. This is several hours after the last time you heard from me. And but I'm going to finish up talking about, from my standpoint, the business end of doing your own broadcast, and which is how I make money. I don't make a lot of money. I make enough money to augment my Social Security, and my wife doesn't have to work in our retirement, so we get by. And I sell sponsorships to the broadcast, and I sell to businesses in my town, Bryan College Station. And how I go to, I look for businesses that are apt to support high school sports. So I'll look at maybe a poster for the volleyball team or the basketball team or the baseball or softball team and see who advertises on those posters. If they have a football program, I look to see who advertises there. I also look at the rosters of the teams, and I try to see if there's anybody who I particularly know whose parents own or manage a business in town, and I call on them. So there's all kinds of ways. I have about 16 solid sponsors that I've had since 2019, that they always re-up every school year, or they have so far, knock on wood. They keep on doing that, about 16 of those. And then each sport, I'll usually add 4 to 6. So I usually have around 20 sponsors. You don't want to have too many sponsors, because if you promise them 2 plays per broadcast of their 30-second spot, then you might run out of time to get what you promised them on the air. So I stay at 20 sponsors for all sports, and I charge them per broadcast. I'm not going to say what I charge, because your situation will be different depending on what size town you live in, whether you can charge more or the same or less. That's up to you, what the market will bring, what they're willing to pay. So, and I charge per broadcast, and I bill them every month through PayPal billing, and they pay me. Some pay quicker than others, but I haven't been stiffed yet since 2019 by anybody. And it's a good deal, and they seem to like it. And this is for the audio only. So that's the business end of it. Now, before we sign off, I want to let you know that my email address, you can please email me if you have any questions. And if I can't answer it by a return email, I'll call you. So put your phone number in with your email if you want me to call you. And I will if I can't answer your question by email. My email address is, again, my name is Tom Turbyville. My email address is bcsball@yahoo.com. bcsball@yahoo.com. That's my email address. So email me if you have any questions about any of this. I'm having a blast doing what I love to do, and doing it when I want to do it. And like I said, I just got home from about an hour and a half trip to do a volleyball game. Both of our volleyball teams won tonight in the playoffs, so they're still alive. So I'll be doing more the first part of next week. And this is when volleyball sort of clashes with basketball. So I'm fixing to get really busy here. So anyway, I hope you've learned something. If this is something that you want to do, if you're intimidated by everything that I told you, don't be. It's a lot maybe easier than it looks. You just gotta A, decide you're gonna do it. B, gather your equipment, and get your streaming service. Sell your ads if this is something that you want to monetize, if you want to make money at it, and do it. I highly recommend it. So if you have any questions, give me an email, and I hope that this has been worth it to you. So everybody have a blessed day and have a great winter. Stay warm.